Hey, what is going on YouTube? Hey, Aaron here. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, guys, no Friday feature today, but we do have another feature-worthy type game, and that is me in the Atlantico here running a full secondary build. I'm going to be honest, when this ship first came out without a dedicated commander, I hated it. Yes, it had some features worthy of maybe picking up, but considering people spend real money, almost $60 on a tier 7 premium ship like this, I did not give this ship a video, and you guys heard me in a few live streams say that I don't like this thing, nor do I recommend buying it. But after giving it the dedicated commander here, Mr. Henrique, I think the ship is half decent. It also brings a fun factor, and when you look at the attributes of this ship, it makes it actually fairly viable. The ship has 234 millimeter secondaries. It has an underwater citadel, and it has 10 guns here of nasty AP that you can use to decimate broadsides. Now, I will say we are running a full secondary build. I tried a little bit of an accuracy build, but it's just honestly not worth it, considering that you have such good secondaries. Also, the ship is meant to be played in at close ranges as opposed to far away. I have citadeled this thing, but only at range, which makes sense. The only way you can citadel this thing really is by plunging fire. The citadel is well below the waterline there. You can see we took a shot at that Turpitz there, hit a nice 3 shells for a nice little 10K. So not the most ineffective guns, but compared to what a few other battleships would have done. But these guns do absolutely smack. We got some good gun hits this game. And here you can see me, I'm doing this dance, right? I'm playing the outside. I was thinking about pushing into A. We have our destroyer there. It's actually Mr. Noriko, so make sure you guys give some love to him. It was his birthday, and I was playing with him, so it was a good time. You have to do this dance, though, of the secondary dance, right? You can't just rush in, and that's the mistake so many people make when they play secondary battleships. Here we have a destroyer, but unfortunately I'm going behind the island, or I would have probably taken a blind shot at him. I probably could have thrown this anyway, looking back, but here I just wanted to get behind this island, and I'm not shooting right away. Number one, I don't have the best shot. We can see this Turpitz is turning here. And number two, I want to get as close to this island as possible before we shoot to use this island for protective cover. I see so many... I think there's a lot of new players because I just saw another Facebook post, or somebody sent me one. It's like, come out and from behind your island and fight like a man. Oh gosh, those people crack me up because you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Just like I saw another post, this poor guy, he's probably gotten decimated by destroyers, but he's like, limit 2 destroyers per team, report them if they don't play the way I want to, and they have, what else did he say? Oh, battleships get sonar and radar. Like, okay, dude, tell me you just are not good. But we went behind the island. We actually did get shot utilizing one of our first heals here. We are running I think Henrique, one of his special traits gives us another heal and secondary consumable. But you can see the secondaries are going off, but it doesn't matter because our main guns actually took out that Colorado. But we're going to go ahead and target the Fletcher here. I think we get a few secondary hits on him, but those 234s, when they hit, they do their job. I do also believe there's another set of 127s, I think, on this boat. We'll go over those at the end of the game here when I review the stats and show you guys the commander. But this is the position that you want to be in this ship, right? Now, the enemy was not cooperating as much as I would have liked them to. I truly don't get that many secondary hits this game, or important secondary hits. But we get, it shows you guys a good, use and how to use this ship. We still do get a lot of secondary hits. I think we get one close quarters expert. I don't remember, but we get focused by the carrier. We get a high caliber. It's a good game for this ship. On top of that, this game also shows you that you can use the main guns, right? You don't just have to go in there and just not be effective, right? You can be effective if the enemy team doesn't want to cooperate, and this enemy team is not cooperating, right? They're not pushing directly into my secondaries. The game is almost 5 minutes in now, and I think we have exactly 1 secondary hit. So, playing smarter, right? Utilizing what your team is giving you. Now, our team did a decent job at sea. They are sort of on the weak side, although we have a good portion of the ships here. 2 destroyers, I think 3 battleships or 2 battleships here, and the carriers is kind of, is starting to make his way over here. But we have these 2 destroyers here, and I don't want to push around this corner blindly because there's 2 of them. If there was just one, I could probably dodge. The Fletcher and the Z-23 are not going to dev strike me unless they get all of them on target. So, but I'm not, because there's 2 of them, we want to make them make the mistake. And that's what a lot of you guys sometimes forget to do. Here, Noriko actually makes a fairly risky play, but I will tell you that Noriko played this brilliantly and actually survives I think he survives up until the end, but he is super low here. He launches his torps, gets away from that. He already got the A cap, so he's already done his job as a destroyer, and it was really unfortunate that a carrier was in this game because those carriers tend to really spot those destroyers. This carrier did anyway. Good carriers, carrier players tend to spot those destroyers. But in the meantime, we've worked our way back into the middle. And a central position, when you're not being focused, is so good for a battleship. And here's the reason why. They got that Z-23 with the fire. But if they didn't, I would have cross shots on him, and I am developing cross shots on this Vanguard here. I did want to, I can remember when I was playing this, on the live stream, I did want to go around this corner and just let the secondaries rip. But I knew that Z-23 was waiting for me, and because that Vanguard backed up, we would have been in a crossfire there. Also, we're trying to get rid of this Tirpitz. Unfortunately, the Tirpitz kind of plays Ring Around the Rosie with us here as our Iowa goes down. So this is a fairly close game. I'm not sure what our carrier was doing. It looks like he was throwing fighters here and there, but here comes the enemy carrier. I'm also trying to sit here to protect Noriko with my AA. I don't think the AA is that great on this thing, but because of how low Noriko is, any little AA bubble I can provide, I'm going to do so. Noriko plays it really smart. He knows that the carrier cannot arm those torpedoes that close to the island, and he gets very close to the island. So Noriko's a good guy. I think he suffers a little bit from the frustrating gameplay that can be Legends. So he's fun to watch. Here, though, we see those torpedoes zoom past, so knowing that Z-23 is out there, we have a good estimation of this battle, right? And here, at this point in the game, like I've said in so many videos, is the halfway point. This is where you win and lose games. Because a lot of you guys are good enough to survive, your initial onslaught, winning your side, what have you. And then, at this point in the game, people just decide to throw their ship away. I'm not sure what it is. But here is when you guys can see these secondaries sort of go into action. We pop our secondary booster there, and that is the new legendary trait that Henrique has, the secondary interest. I think it just gives you a little bit better... I'm not sure. It's just helps your secondaries here. I would never recommend secondary builds for like ranked or anything like that. Maybe the small ranked. Secondary builds can be fun, but in most cases, I would say in most cases, other than the Atlantico here, they tend not to be the most effective strategies. And I know people are going to hate me saying that. It's just like saying I don't think agile builds are the best builds. They feel like they're being personally attacked. And no, if you want to run a secondary build, that's fine. Just be prepared to play, to carry harder and win less, right? In most cases, secondary builds are not the most effective. And the same thing goes for agile. You can slap agile on anything you want. You can slap secondary on anything you want. You can slap I don't know, a third type of build, whatever build you can think of, and that just it may work for you, but that doesn't make it the most effective. But here we're just playing this Ring Around the Rosie game. I don't want to give up too much broadside, and I don't want to push into that Z without carrier or destroyer support. But if you'll notice, we are actually tied on ships here. Noriko is very low, and carrier v carrier, and I believe our Brandenburg was not that healthy either. So, a shout out to our Brandenburg. He actually had a very good game. We do give up a little bit of broadside here. That's when the key hits us. Our carrier actually hits the key with a good, good set of torpedoes there, knocking down his health. The Z-23 pops up, so we target him with our secondaries. They go off for a short amount of time. I'm not sure why he was spotted, then quickly undetected. It could have been a carrier spot real quick. I'm not exactly sure, but... regardless of that, we did get a few hits for a few thousand damage there, you will notice, and then we're going to go ahead and change our secondary target to the key here. That is when they start to go off, and they all miss. So even with a full secondary build, you will still get some meme-worthy moments. Also, you want to keep in mind here, the Japanese have some stronger outer armor, but you can see that secondary hit, 1,200 damage. So if you can imagine that going against a lightly armored target like a cruiser or a destroyer, you will decimate ships. Here, I shoot a little bit too early. I blew my load. I blew it a little too early, but so does the key there. Launching his torps a touch early. And that is when it is down to this Vanguard, the Z-23, and the carrier. So still a close-ish game. We've actually racked up a nice damage total, and that is when the Z rounds the corner. He gets Noriko with the trade, but unfortunately he will be detected there. We hit 5 hits, and secondaries away. He does smoke up, and we do get some nice hits, but he actually overextends out of his smoke. We get another salvo off for 2 overpens. We're getting attacked by the carrier. Go forward, the torpedo doesn't arm, and unfortunately, the secondaries do not finish off the Z, but we're not too worried about him. We did pop our booster there, and if you'll notice, we actually got a decent chunk of damage on the Z there. We're also going to try and take this blind fire, and I think we get, what? Did we get 1 hit? Yeah, we got 1 hit on the long side there, so always love taking those blind fires. We get the back turrets off, but no such luck with those. But here we're going to go ahead and push forward. We've tanked damage. We're not going to repair this fire just in case the Z either decides to rush us or what have you, because we can heal that damage, and we've got 1 more heal. We were literally one secondary hit away from killing that Z-23. But like we talked about, not too many secondary hits, but when they did fire, they did do a decent amount of damage. So again, this game I think was just very good at showing, that you don't have to YOLO rush in the Atlantico here to be effective. Here we get a beautiful broadside on that Vanguard, and that is the high caliber. We, again, try to target our secondaries. That's when the Z popped out of his smoke. We throw the secondaries, but the carrier got him. So a shout out to him. We actually did take that 1 torp, so we're glad we didn't repair. That is when we get the Clear Sky medal for being focused for the later half of the match. So a fantastic game from us. The Brandenburg, because of our salvo, is going to beat this Vanguard. And we just miss out on the kill. I don't know how I didn't get that kill. But regardless of that, we missed out on 2 kills at the end there, or we could have had the nice little Kraken. But we know that Krakens do not make gameplays. It's the plays that make gameplays, right? A lot of people... Krakens are cool. We did get that nice Petro Kraken, and I've actually got a lot of Krakens recently, but I think a lot of people overemphasize the importance of Krakens. Like, was my game any less oppressive because I missed that Vanguard by 1 second? No. And some people feel the same. They're like, I gotta get the Kraken. Like, no, it's nice. But there's the Confederate. I think the more important medal, honestly, shows you're utilizing target selection, and the game is now over. Thank goodness this Kaga did not come back to strike us again with torpedoes. I don't know how we would have done against torpedoes, but he's got his hands full with the enemy Brandenburg and us getting on his broadside. I did want to get into secondary range to kind of meme him, but it looks like we have another secondary Brandenburg, and yeah, he was going to finish him before I got close. So a nice little finish to the game there. Confederate High Caliber Dreadnought, Clear Skies, and I think First Blood maybe. I don't exactly remember. It'll show on the screen here in a minute. But a nice 29,073 total there, almost a 3K, and a 3K base for that Brandenburg. So, playing smartly in your secondary battleships can net you great results. GG's to Noriko for getting that cap and for our Implacable for spotting at the end there. Maybe not the most exciting secondary game, only 42 hits there, but like we talked about, you can be far more effective just kind of playing the ship, at that mid-tier range there. And some games you will get the secondaries. But here is the new commander, Henrique Fernandez, with the base trait of battleship main battery range and secondary gun range. So another secondary commander there. We are running flammable cannon. Porcupine is the reason that this guy makes this ship so good. Porcupine is the trait you really want. We are running marksmanship, which I don't know, you could potentially choose the other one, master mechanic, and the new secondary interest, enhanced targeting, and the extra charge there. So yes, that is the build. And here, let's check the secondaries. Main guns are the 381s there by 5x2 for 10 of them with a 30-second reload, and your secondaries get out to 10.7. So I didn't go over the other ship stats, but you saw the health. It's not that maneuverable, and the Citadel is below water. So not quite a full review, but I know a lot of other content creators have done that. So it's a good ship. If you got it, make sure you pick up this commander. If you haven't, I wouldn't go out of your way to spend $70 on it, but it's not a bad ship now. So that's the review. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you guys think. I will try to get another full meme secondary where the fireworks are going off all over the place. But in the meantime, play with a little more strategy, and you guys notice a lot better games. So, run out. Peace.